Hey guys and gals, the Mazske Finance World, how you doing today? As always, I am Mazske, and once again, my disclaimer: I'm not a CPA, financial advisor, not an attorney, nothing like that. Anyway, hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, I know I haven't made a video in a while. Yeah, I've been slowing down my videos because my channel's not growing. So I figure a lot of you don't need financial education. I try to teach you all, but seems like a lot of you don't like it, probably because I don't have JPEGs or thumbnails, as pictures, and I don't put graphics in my video. I'm just old school Mazske, and that's all I plan to do. Even though I am an electronics technician priorly and previously, and I know how to do everything, but that's okay. Anyway, I had a viewer though email me and asked me to talk about like something like mineral rights, oil drilling, that sort of thing, and compare it to real estate. So I'll give you some quick thoughts on it, okay? As I've mentioned many times on my channel, I own both real estate, and I've always said the quickest way to wealth is through buying real estate. I also own alternative assets. I also own stocks. That's not really alternative, but I do have a few stocks, not very much though, because trust me, a crash will be coming due to the astronomical debt of the United States of America. And that new bill that was passed, not to get political, but it will just add more and more to the debt. So no matter which party you are, they all love to spend money. And we can't do this indefinitely. So keep that in mind. So with that being said, other alternative investments, mineral rights and oil drilling. You can do well with energy, okay? I own mineral rights acreage. I have quite a few different portfolios. I invest with Acreage Land and Acquisition. Okay, that's my portfolios are through. I don't have the stats in front of me, but some portfolios have done very well. Some have they've been a little slow to get going. Okay, the ones that are slow to get going, I have full expectations they will get better. So when I say slow to get going, what do I mean? Or when I say they've done well, what do I mean? I'll give you a couple examples off the top of my head. I had one portfolio, it's gone back, was it 1 year ago, 2 years ago? It might have been 2 years ago. I had 1 month where my return for the month, based on the dollar amount I paid for that portfolio, was 25%. Okay? So let's say you spent $10,000 in this portfolio. 25% of that would be what, $2,500, right? So that's not what I got. I didn't put 10 grand into it. I had more than that into it, I think. But I got a 25% return in 1 month. Okay, it's not like stocks. I've had stocks go up 25% in a month. I've had stocks go up 100% in a month. But perhaps a week later they might drop 50%. Mineral rights. Once you get the money, it's your money. Okay, there's no giving it back. Like it does. It's not like stocks that go up and down. You own an asset. The oil and the natural gas that you get, they are depleting assets, but the United States of America has enough oil reserves, and we can't currently get it all out with our current technology, but we have enough oil reserves that these reserves, I've been told, will last not just my lifetime, not just your lifetime if you're 12 years old, but they may last upwards of 500 years or so until they finally get to the point where they are running out. It gives us plenty of time to develop that perfect alternative energy to oil, that perfect alternative to plastic, to every single thing, like this clothing I'm wearing, these glasses I'm wearing, the furniture in here. It all has petroleum products in it. The chapstick I use, the lipstick that the females use, the cosmetics that the females use, it all has petroleum in it, okay? So with that being said, energy can be a great investment. Now, I should have said this before, but to invest in energy, usually, not 100% of the time, usually you need to be accredited. That means you have to have a net worth of $1 million, not counting your primary residence. Or you could have a high enough income, which is something like $200,000 for the past 2 consecutive years, with the expectation that it will continue. Or if you are married or have a spouse, $300,000 for the past 2 years with the expectation that it will continue. I think I got those figures right. Be sure to look them up yourself. Double check me. Okay. But mineral rights, the portfolios, I've had another portfolio, I think just 2 months ago, returned 6%, 8%, 10% in 1 month. I've had other portfolios that are returning 0.5% in a month. 0.5% in a month would be what, 1% in 2 months if it stayed just like that, which would be what, 6% a year. Okay. I looked down at my spreadsheet recently, and off the top of my head, some of my portfolios are like running 12% for the year, 6 months, January to end of June. Some, I think one might be running, I don't know, we'll say 15-ish% for the year. Others are running 7, 6, 5. So with all of those numbers there, if I say double it for the next 6 months, that's a decent return, right? But on the flip side, I have some that for the year might be at 1.75 or 0.99 or whatever it might be. I forget the lowest one. Lowest one I think just started paying this year, so it's not a full year perhaps, but somewhere kind of low. My expectations are they will improve once they drill a new well. Returns will probably shoot up. Okay. Now, with that being said, here's a little caveat. You pay, once you buy the mineral rights acreage, you pay nothing ever again. Okay. You pay no, you make no repairs. You pay no property management fees. You have no capital expenditures. You pay for no insurance on it. You may pay tax. Like if you're an American, you pay tax on everything. So you may pay tax on your investments. But with oil, typically there's a 15% deduction from for your taxes, or reduction or whatever it is. So if you made $10,000, 15%, you pay tax on $8,500, not $10,000, something like that. Okay, I'm not a CPA, remember. Okay, so don't hold me to that. Now, I like mineral rights acreage. Once I buy it, I know I never have to send another check in. I never have to pay another bill, and so on and so on. It's just money coming in. That money may come in for one well, potentially, for 25 years, 50 years, 75 years. Even some wells might go up to 100 years, okay? But my portfolios don't just have one well. They might have 50 wells in them, okay? But I might own just a micro piece of each one. So I get a pro rata share, just a small percentage of each one, okay? That's why it's called a portfolio. Even though I buy an acre, that acre is comprised of a variety of different little tiny tracts of land, okay, where I get mineral rights, okay? If I was talking to you in person, I could explain it even better than that, okay? So I like them. If I pass away in 50 years or in 2 years, they can be passed on to my heirs, okay? And they will perhaps draw an income for the rest of their lifetime, okay? Compare that with oil drilling. Now that same company, Acreage, you can invest with oil drilling with them. Oil drilling is different. I have an investment in oil drilling with a totally different company, okay? With oil drilling, you do get a tax write-off, usually over a 5-year period, which will total your entire investment, okay? That means if you invested $100,000, you will get to write off upwards of $100,000 over 5 years, meaning you just write it off your income. If you made $150,000 for the year and you're extracting $80,000 this first year, that's $80,000 you write off on top of everything else, your standard deduction, all of that, okay? So that's a little benefit, but don't invest in oil drilling if that's what they're telling you you're going to get, and they don't really talk too much about returns. You want to get returns on top of that, okay? You need to have returns on top of that. With oil drilling, you potentially reap more of the rewards. You also could reap more of the risk. say nowadays it's rare that someone drills a well and it's dry, okay? But if you invested in a well that they drilled and was dry, you lost your money, right? If it's dry, you lose your money. But that is very rare nowadays because they have much better technology for drilling, okay? My recommendation is if you were to get started in energy for the first time, stick with something like mineral rights first and learn the business, learn the ropes, learn how rigs work and what the pad looks like when they have a pad and they have the tanks and the pipes and all that kind of stuff. Learn about that. Understand your investment, okay? But it can be a safe investment. But you might have the fear. What if solar takes off? What if wind takes off? What if something else takes off? Well, as of yet, it hasn't happened. With alternative energy sources, the government has funded them, subsidized them, gone over back 20 years, and they have spent a big chunk of money giving rebates and tax credits and subsidizing companies, and they're just not getting the bang for the buck. Okay, as of yet, nothing can replace oil. Nothing. And when it does happen, it will happen at some point in time. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be next year. And even if we want 100% to battery cars, which we're not going to, but in the near future, but maybe we will in 5 or 10 years. If we did, what about the glasses I'm wearing, the clothing on my back, the furniture I'm sitting in? What about that? Okay, because there's petroleum in all of this, all the cosmetics that people, guys and girls wear nowadays, all that kind of stuff. There's petroleum in it. There's always, for the foreseeable future, going to be a demand for petroleum products. Okay, now one other thing with both oil drilling and mineral rights. If you make an investment in oil drilling, you make the investment. You can't just cash out of that investment. It's an investment into a business that's operating. Wells are being drilled, your money's being spent, okay? So you can't just say, oh, I want to sell my investment, give me all my money back. It doesn't work quite that easy. With mineral rights acreage, however, you can typically sell your acreage. You may be able to sell it for more than you paid for it, but at the same time, if you've been getting revenue checks and they've been paying you for a year or 2 or 3, why should you get the money back that you paid for it? Because now your asset has been depleted somewhat, right? There's still more reserves down there. There's more oil to come, but there's that much less that you will get they can get out of it. So maybe you get all your money back, maybe you don't. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know on that. We did just recently, what's today, the 12th? I think it's July, shoot, my Fitbit turned around on me. I think it's July the 12th. Let me double check. Yep, July 12th, Saturday. We did recently move. We're into another condo. Let me show you the view here. There's the ocean down there. All right, so we're still getting settled in. This condo is still kind of a mess. I can tell there's a glare. Sit down over here. So then, but anyway, it is what it is. All right, well, let me know if you stuck around to the end, and most of you don't. If you want me to keep making videos, or you want me to pick up my pace on making videos, feel free to comment below. So with that being said, have a great day. Mazskes signing out.